Question number 3. John makes a sequence of numbers. His rule is to add the same amount each time. Write in the missing numbers. Now the first thing we've got to do is figure out what the gap is. What is the big gap from -1 to 19? Well, if we do a little number line down here, put -1 at the small end of the number line, the start of the number line, and 19 at the other end, let's use 0 to help us. If we put 0 in between them, and then think about the gaps from 0 to both numbers, well, 0 up to 19, that's a gap of 19, and 0 down to -1 is just a gap of 1. So if we add that together, 1 plus 19 gives me a total gap of 20. So from -1 up to 19 is a big gap of 20. Now the problem we've got is we need to split that big gap of 20 across some smaller gaps. Now the mistake you might make here is you might think that there's 3 missing boxes, so you need to do 20 divided by 3 to figure out what each gap changes in, but that is actually wrong. And you can see why it's wrong if you draw on some arrows. Well, we got to get from -1 to the next box, that would be 1 gap. From that box to the next one, that would be 2 gaps. From that box to the next one, that would be 3 gaps. From the next box to 19, that would be 4 gaps. So there's basically, this big gap of 20 is going to jump across 4 separate arrows. It's going to be spread across 4 separate arrows. So if we do our gap of 20 divided by 4, because there's 4 little jumps that we need to do, 20 divided by 4 is 5. So that means that each mini jump, 5 per mini jump. So we're going up in 5s. So that's -1 plus 5 takes me to 4. 4 plus 5 takes me to 9. 9 plus 5 takes me to 14. And 14 plus 5 gets me all the way over there to 19. And that does seem to work. So just to recap, we figured out that the gap between -1 and 19 was 20. Then we said, well, there's 4 little mini jumps. So 20 divided by 4 gives you 5 for each mini jump. And if each mini jump is going up in 5s, your next number is 4, then 9, then 14.